When you think about birds across North America, the one species type which has been far more successful than any other species type is waterfowl. And in part, that's because people who care about waterfowl have been investing in the habitat for them. And Ducks Unlimited has been a leader in that and will continue to lead. There's more work to be done, but we have been tremendously successful in California. So we are having a tremendous impact with our partners on the landscape.
Water is very scarce in California. We've got a lot of competing interests. Population continues to grow in California. We have a vibrant agricultural economy, and so water is a very costly commodity, and it's intensively managed here in California. The Grassland ecological area sits along the Pacific Flyway, which is a critical migratory corridor that spans from Alaska to Patagonia. So each year we actually see upwards of about 10 million birds move through the Central Valley, and it's critical from making sure that we're getting enough calories on the landscape, providing enough habitat for loafing. That's really the function of this massive wetland complex. You know, it's 240,000 acres in size. That is when we have the water supply. We're not immune to drought out here, so California is kind of feast or famine, and so we have to stretch that water supply as far as we can take it. And so there's not any potential for expansion at this point, so it's really trying to do more with what we have.
As you might imagine, water, inevitably, I think we're going to find that good quality, clean, fresh water is one of the most precious commodities on Earth. Water is important because waterfowl prefer to, and in fact can only survive in wetland environments. They need the habitat, they need the wetland. The traditional natural wetland habitat is really what we're trying to mimic here, and that requires water.
Working together is a key thing about the grasslands. It's not about just working on the public lands, not just working on the private lands. It's working together and identifying that the way that these wetlands function is that they work as one function. It's not about property lines. Therefore, Ducks Unlimited does not just identify that we have to work on the big clubs or the small clubs or just the public lands. We work on everybody in order to develop this big cohesive wetland unit that, when it works together, really provides all the biological functions for those wintering water birds, such as waterfowl.
Ducks Unlimited is not the only one working here in the valley, and we couldn't do the work that we do without all of our partners, other private agencies, state and federal agencies, private landowners. It takes all of us as a team to provide habitat for these ducks in California. Water's a big issue here, and making sure we have water for the birds is a high priority.
The only way that we're going to be effective and successful, and the way that Ducks Unlimited has always been effective and successful, is through partnerships. We are grounded in science and excellent policy work, but it's the partnerships on the ground that really makes the conservation happen. That's what is the key to our success. And part of that is private philanthropy, because we get a lot of wonderful public funding, and yet that private philanthropy, that really makes the difference between what we hope to do and what we actually accomplish. It's really the key to our success.